Hello everyone and welcome to Google I/O Recap live from Google I/O Extended Sri Lanka 2025. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome all of you, such an amazing gathering filled with developers, tech enthusiasts, creators and visionaries. So today we will be diving deep into what's next in the world of tech, AI, Android, machine learning, cloud, Flutter, and even beyond that, that was unveiled at Google I/O 2025, Google's largest developer annual tech showcase. So we have four brilliant individuals who are joining me on this stage who are ready and all set to dissect and explore the latest tech announcements that were unveiled at Google I/O 2025. So let's give a small round of introductions so that everyone knows who is who. So starting from the corner to my right, we have Mr. Banu Athuraliya, a popular tech YouTuber and the managing director at $100 Network. And next up, we have Mr. Avinath Gunasekara, the powerhouse behind fluttergenius.com and the lead at Flutter Colombo. And to my left, we have Mr. Suresh Peiris, GDG organizer here in Sri Lanka and the co-founder of Infowaves and Articom.io. And finally, we have Mr. Keshan Sodimana, associate architect in machine learning at LSEG and Google developer expert in cloud and ML. So these are the speakers, the four brilliant minds who are joining here exclusively to dissect everything tech just for you. All right, so let's kickstart this session with the first question directed at Banu. So Banu, Google I/O 2025 introduced major updates to Gemini with projects like Starline's 3D video calls, Astra's real-time AI, and Marina's agentic features. With AI mode, deep search, search live, and even virtual try-ons coming to devices, how do you see these shaping the future of web and mobile experiences, especially for users here in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, thanks to the GDG team for having me today. So first off, let me start off by talking about how this time around the theme mainly at Google I/O was about taking all these research projects that they had inside into more practical applications outside. So during the keynote, they spoke about Project Starline and the Project Marina, as well as Project Astra. So first off, starting off with Project Starline. So think about the aspect where all of us are nowadays having so many virtual meetings, right? So the problem with virtual meetings, it's not like, it's not like a real conversation that you're having. So because of that, the 2D element that we have there. So this time around, Google announced a project called Google Beam. Right, with the 6-layer camera setup, they are going to be introducing a new set of devices that will be coming out in future that will convert all these 2D renders that we have into 3D videos that we'll be having. So we think about the next generation of breakthrough 3D video technology coming to you if you are really, interested in that kind of thing. So I think especially for large-scale organizations, this is going to be a real big innovation. And, you will actually, when you have this conversation, according to people who have actually tried this, it's like you get the feeling of being in the same room as another person. And this is the start of something. So HP is going to be one of the companies that will be producing one of the first devices that will come out towards the end of this year. So we'll have more devices coming in future as well. And next off, we have Project Astra. So basically, think of it like the universal AI assistant. I think we have a lot of Google fans in the house today. I'm pretty sure you guys have already tried Gemini and the features that it brings to the table, especially with the conversational AI part that is there. So think about now the example that they showed off at I/O this time revolved around someone assembling this bicycle and figuring out the parts, figuring out the tutorials, and even ordering parts online. All of this happened in real time through one conversation that they had with Gemini. So Astra explores the future capabilities of a universal AI assistant. So with Gemini Live, you can, compared to last year, now this time we are going to have much more, features that are going to be packed into it, and it's going to be available for you whether you're using an Android device or whether you're on an iPhone, right? So it's going to be really awesome to have that. And then we have Project Marina. So basically, this is going to be the agentic capabilities that Google introduced that will, sort of think of the agent, like, rather than just doing one single step at a time, the agent can, perform multiple tasks on behalf of you, so that your, sometimes days of research can boil down to just, a couple of minutes through this, through the Agent Marina prototype that they showed off. And think about, your browser working with other softwares and getting all these tasks done on behalf of you. So it's going to be really awesome. And a new agent mode is going to be added to Gemini as well. So you can, get more things done really, really fast. So that's something awesome. Next up, I want to talk about the AI mode as well, because this is another key thing that's coming to revolutionize the web experience that we have, right? Like the browsing experience has been consistent over the past couple of years, but now starting off this year with so many other competitor brands also coming into the space and trying different things. Google is now stepping up their game with the search engine, just taking you away from just the search bar to a much more powerful AI mode that they are bringing here. So your search experience is going to be much more, like it's going to be a richer experience for you, right? And it's rolling out, starting off from the US. A couple of people in the US have already got access to it. So if you are interested in trying this out, I would strongly recommend you to go into the labs and enable it and try it out if it is available for you. Otherwise, set up a notification. So when you see when it's available, you can go ahead and try it out, because it's really, really awesome. It will help you, do whatever search that you're doing in a much better way, and it's going to truly change the way you use the internet, especially with this, and also with deep research capabilities being built into this, right? Like the deep research will be going through so many articles, so many resources on behalf of you, and catering it down. And now with the sources also, right, you can check the credibility of these sources and all of that. And Search Live is also going to be introduced as another part this time around. So we have real world multimodal approach over here. So you can not only type content, but also talk, snap a picture, even upload a photo from your end, and get a conversation going on with the Google search. So that's a total reimagination of the search that we have. And like I said earlier with the Project Marina, right? Like we have more focus on the AI mode here as well, with the agentic capabilities that we'll be having. So think of a scenario where, like, I'm pretty sure we have a lot of cricket fans out here as well. Maybe you want to book some tickets for a cricket match, right? Like nowadays we have to go into the site and keep tabs of all these things. But you can use this agent to, basically go ahead and just get your ticket sorted out just through the browsing, just through the search. You can get all of that sorted out. So it's going to be a fun experience. And also, I want to talk about this other cool thing that they showed off this time at I/O. I think one of the highlights, the virtual try-on feature, right? Think about all the times where you wanted to buy something online, but you don't know whether it really fits you, right? Fits your style or anything like that. So like with this virtual try-on feature that they have access to, like, large models, like, where they have trained it with so much of data, it works fabulously according to the people that have tried it. I personally have not got the chance to try it yet, but I'm really excited to, explore it and also bring out some content based on this very soon. And I think Google spoke about, integrating this experience. Say you select a particular item that you want, and let's say it's out of stock or something, or you want to figure out an item that is on sale, right? You set a particular price. Yeah, let me know if this the price of this product comes down to this level, and Google itself will bring out that watch out for that, and when that price hits, you will get a notification so that you can do the checkout process right then and there, right? So you don't have to keep opening all these things and keeping tabs of all these things. So it's going to be a unified experience. And finally, I want to talk about the membership prices, right? Because now Google did a small revamp of the plans that they had. So they renamed the Pro plan to Google AI Pro this time around, and also introduced this powerhouse of a plan called Google AI Ultra. So this is for all those power users that are there. So, not only do you get, larger limits with the Ultra plan, you also get access to YouTube Music and all of those other little things here and there. But the price of this is, in Sri Lanka, it's listed at around 80,000 rupees a month. So in the US, it's about $250, something around that. But if you want to try it out, you can actually go to the website right now, and there is a ongoing offer for 40,000, around that price for the first 3 months. So if you really want to explore the capabilities of that, you can try it out. I think it's for large scale, operations, it's a good fit. But if you are just getting started, I think the Google AI Pro plan would be, a good starting point for you to try out all these features. So it's going to be awesome, yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Banu, for that wonderful input. So we will be now moving to the cloud, where AI is rapidly evolving. So my second question is directed at Suresh. So Suresh, Google I/O 2025 revealed a massive leap in AI on the cloud, from new Gemini models and multimodal tools like Imagen 4, VO3, and Lyra, to the rise of agentic systems with Vertex AI Agent Builder, Agent Engine, and the Agent-to-Agent protocol. With tools like Gemini CLI and Agent Space bringing in AI deeper into workflows, how do you see these shaping the future of enterprise solutions and developer ecosystems?
Definitely. So before I start my topic, I just want to say a massive thanks to all of you for coming in today. And yeah, so I'll start off by saying this. So as you all know, Google Vertex AI is a platform, the official AI platform of Google, so which was previously known as Google's AI platform. And there's something called Model Garden, right? So we all know that there are open source models as there are cloud-based models. So with Vertex AI, they are providing you access to the flagship models of Google. So recently they have added support for Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is the most latest version of Gemini, as well as there's something called Live API. Let's say you want to interact with the Gemini model in live way. For an example, that could be like a video streaming, that could be audio streaming, right? So you might have seen in Google AI Studio, they have introduced this feature called where you can share the screen and real time you can request for support. So that kind of features are, 100% capable with the capabilities of Live API, right? So you can build your own API applications with Live API. So that has come to Google Vertex AI very recently. And then we have the lightweight model of Gemini 2.5, which is Gemini 2.5 Flash. So that's also available. And we all know that the VO3, one of the most interesting large language models, the video generation models we have in the market. So if you have seen the trailer, which was played just before, you might have seen some of the scenes on Sri Lanka, which has been generated entirely through the VO3 model, right? So that's also available through Vertex AI. So if you're building an application that has capabilities of generating video, VO3 has to be a go-to option. And finally, we have two models, Imagen 4 and Lyra. So Imagen 4 is basically like it's mostly image generation model, right? By providing a script, you can generate images, right? The features are very, it has a very diverse set of features, and you can get a very high quality image output with the Imagen 4 model. And finally, we have the Lyra 2 model. So I know that most of you might be wondering what is Lyra 2. It's actually a music generation model, right? So now the Google's AI is not only for video, text, and stuff, right? It's tackling the music space as well. If you want to compose music, if you want to generate music, Lyra 2 is there for you. So apart from that, we have Llama 4. I think the LLM enthusiasts, the AI enthusiasts might have already heard about Llama 4, right? There are multiple editions, Llama 2, Llama 3, Llama 4. So if you want to deploy your own open source Llama 4 model, you have the space on the Google's Vertex AI platform. You know what? The best thing is that, okay, you know that if you are deploying some sort of open source model, it's going to be highly costly, right? Because you have to get the GPU support, you have to get the CPU support, and that's going to cost you a lot. But with the special pricing of Vertex AI, it's only charging you based on the token count, right? So that's the advantage that we have in terms of, it's more like a pay-as-you-go model based on the token limit that you all have. So that's one thing. And next thing is that we have the Vertex AI Model Optimizer. So when I'm building generative AI applications, sometimes we might be struggling to find the perfect model, right? Whether to go with Gemini 2.5 Pro or Flash or Lite, right? Depending on the application, we might be struggling to find out which model is the most convenient and most optimized for your application. So Google has launched this special generative AI API, which is called, it's a library actually, which is called the Model Optimizer Library. So using this, you can actually import that model as a model optimized model. So based on the prompts, based on the inputs that you are giving for the model, for the application, it will find the most suitable model and it will do the optimization in a cost-effective way. So that's the advantage actually, because we know that the generative AI space is growing rapidly and there has to be options where we can effectively manage the cost also, right? So that sort of features are given along with the Google Gen AI library. Right, so we all know that in terms of generative AI, there are multiple aspects we should look into. So Google has launched this special thing, the special aspects in terms of fine-tuning of these models. So we all know that, okay, supervised fine-tuning has been introduced along with the Google's Vertex AI platform. And also, for retrieval augmentation, there are multiple other RAG-based approaches. So if you want to feed your own context, if you want to feed your own knowledge base, the RAG applications are given. So these are all these functionalities are there on Vertex AI. So as well as if you all want to go for a full fine-tuning, Google Vertex AI provides you space for that as well. And let's say if you want to feed your own context to the LLM, so all of these 360 processes are being handled. So it's pretty flexible to work with all of these fine-tuning approaches. Right, so now for moving more towards AI agents, so we know that AI agents is the buzzword nowadays, right? So Google has launched this special thing called Vertex AI Agent Builder, which has a graphical user interface where you can build your own agent, right? So as you know that along with the graphical user interface, they are adding support to their flagship agent development models, frameworks such as Google's ADK, which is known as the Google Agent Development Kit. And also we have the Google's agent-to-agent framework. And if you want to streamline the process between development, connect, deploy, and operate, right? If you want to make sure your agents are running smoothly on Google Cloud, the agent space and the Vertex AI Agent Builder would be the go-to option. Right, so moving forward, we have the Agent Development Kit, right? So as AI developers, as people who are into AI enthusiasts, right? We all know that there are multiple agentic frameworks such as LangGraph, Crew AI, and Agno. There are multiple other agentic frameworks. So Google has launched their own agentic framework, which is known as Google's Agent Development Kit, which supports not only Gemini, it supports cross models as well, right? So that's the advantage. It's an agnostic model, it's an agnostic framework that you can use to build your own AI agents. But there are multiple benefits of this. For an example, you can connect, you can integrate native agent-to-agent support, right? You can interact with multiple agents, you can build workflows, background agents, like there are multiple benefits that comes with the Google Agent Development Kit, right? You can feed the instruction, define the tool calls, feed the models, and you can even connect with MCPs, right? And also you can interact with the Google's APIs that they have provided with the Google Cloud Platform. So all of these capabilities are given along with the Google's ADK. So moving forward, we have an interesting framework called Agent to Agent. So I think as a third item in the agenda, you all have a workshop exploring the capabilities of Agent to Agent framework as well. So let's say you are connecting with third-party agents, right? There can be AI agents done with multiple frameworks. That could be Agno, that could be ADK, that could be LangGraph. There can be thousands of agentic frameworks. But how do we make sure we incorporate, we talk to these sort of third-party agents? So the agent-to-agentic protocol has the answer to all of these problems, right? You can easily apply cross-platform and cross-integration between multiple agentic frameworks, and that is 100% given along with the agent-to-agent protocol. And then we have the special thing, which is called the agent engine, right? So Google has launched this native space that you can deploy your agents, and along with the cloud native approaches and the Google Cloud approaches, along with your agentic integrations. So let's say you want to incorporate the development of these agents as well as the deployment of these agents, right? So we are on that, okay, we can work with multiple agentic frameworks and deploy on GCP, and we can call with multiple tool calls, and also we can integrate with multiple native aspects of GCP as well. So as you can see, it automates the entire workflow of building agentic applications. Right. And then we have something called agentic engine. Right? So we know that, okay, building agents can be complex. Sometimes we had to focus on the development aspect, deployment aspect, query, and analytics aspect as well. So the AI agent engine facilitates all of these workflow optimizations, right? Bridging the gap between all of these integration steps into one platform. So very easily, we can deploy these models on top of Google Cloud with the agentic engine as well, because they have given a native framework that you can easily develop these models, develop these agents, and integrate together and deploy on GCP platform. It's more like an ecosystem. Right, so this is the Google's agent space basically. So as you all know, I think even Banu mentioned during his presentation that there are, people can be building custom agents, right? There can be different corporates who are building their own agents. But see, what if we can, utilize some sort of a third-party agents in our applications? For an example, let's say, talking to a Google Drive integration, talking to a news integration, talking to a customer support integration, right? So all of these third-party agents can be developed by multiple people. But what if we have a marketplace of agents that we can plug and play in our own applications and incorporate with the agentic behaviors? So Google has launched this new marketplace called Agent Space, which is an open marketplace for AI agents. People can develop AI agents, list on the marketplace, and developer can use it in their own agentic applications. So Agent Space automates the whole agentic behavior, and it makes us easy to integrate with third-party agents, and anyone can publish, anyone can use it. It's more like a consumer and publisher environment that we have. And next, we have the most interesting thing, the Gemini CLI, right? So I know that you all might have heard about applications such as OpenAI Codex Agent and Claude Code, which works as AI agents in your terminal, especially for code generation and especially for optimization of code levels and generative AI of code. So Google has launched their own open source agent called Gemini CLI, which works as an agent within your CLI command line interface that can automate multiple tasks. For an example, prompting with Google search, and also you can even extend to Gemini capabilities. So imagine your operating system is having the capabilities of Gemini, right? So you ask the terminal to perform some sort of a system operation, and it does it. So we can simply automate multiple system operations if you have the Gemini CLI. So they have open source framework. We can customize it, and we can use it in our own open systems, and the entire workflow is automated. And also, especially for code generation, the Gemini CLI could be very useful. And you might have seen, like I said earlier, the Codex and Claude Code are there. So if you want, automate the code generation, the Gemini CLI would be the perfect choice for that as well. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much, Suresh. So we are now moving into app development. The third question of this session is directed at Avinath. So Avinath, Flutter has become one of the most popular frameworks for building beautiful apps across platforms from a single code base. For those who might be new to Flutter or curious about its evolution, could you give us a quick overview of what Flutter is and then walk us through some of the major developments that were unveiled at Google I/O 2025?
Yeah, certainly. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Suresh and the GDG team for having me here today. It's an absolute honor, guys. So I'm here to talk about Flutter. So Flutter is an open source framework for building applications on all device classes from a single code base. Now, with Flutter, you can build natively compiled applications for all sorts of devices on multiple platforms. Now, Flutter's fundamental goal is to empower developers with the freedom to build high-quality applications across multiple platforms by greatly reducing the traditional barriers associated with platform-specific development. Flutter allows developers to seamlessly build applications that are performant, visually appealing, and, of course, runs on multiple platforms. So let's take a look at some case studies. So Coves is a co-working space management system built right here in Sri Lanka that helps co-working spaces efficiently handle their bookings, member management, invoices, etc. And their software is, of course, built in Flutter and using Firebase as well, and it is deployed on iOS, Android, and the web. Space Hero, a tech-driven self-storage company based in Athens, Greece, leverages Flutter to power a dynamic warehouse management system that streamlines in-house operations. And their application is again built in Flutter and deployed across Android, iOS, and the web, and of course, all with a single shared code base. Now this one's a bit of an interesting one. So we have Devo Technologies here. This is a company based out of London, England, and their entire point of sale system is built using Flutter. And it is deployed across stores in London, and it is deployed as a native Windows application. So Flutter has been growing. Its rich and vibrant ecosystem is really what sets it apart from other technologies. Being trusted by some of the world's largest brands, its momentum has truly been unprecedented. It really is adoption at scale. Now, according to the JetBrains, the State of Developer Ecosystem Survey from 2021 to 2024, Flutter has been the #1 most used multi-platform app framework. And according to Apptopia Inc., which is an app intelligence provider that tracks apps released to the stores, Flutter now accounts for a whopping 28% of all new free apps on the App Store. Now, this growth of Flutter apps is in part powered by the growing community of developers worldwide. It remains to be one of the most helpful communities in tech, with live streams, Q&As, meetups, hackathons, and more. An organizing force behind this community is the Flutter Meetup Network, a community of 150 groups spanning 66 countries, with an astounding 83,124 and counting members. And in 2024, these communities hosted a collective of 541 events. We even have our own community right here in Sri Lanka called Flutter Colombo, and you can find us on Facebook as well as on meetup.com. Now, this year's Google I/O brought a wave of exciting updates to Flutter and Dart, but I'm going to focus a bit on Flutter's updates. So I'm going to be focusing on 2 updates. We have direct native interoperability and improvements to platform support on iOS, Android, and the web. So starting off, we have direct native interoperability. Now, Flutter has been focusing in on how to improve interoperability between platforms, and they've chosen 3 specific issues to tackle this particular problem. Firstly, we have the big thread merge. Now, historically, your Flutter applications have been running on 2 threads. There's the UI thread, and there is the platform thread. Now, the UI thread essentially runs all of your Dart code and builds the user interface. And the platform thread is responsible for communicating with the host device, whether it be iOS, Android, or web. Now, the problem that we've been facing is when you have these two different threads, it can be quite cumbersome, right? So, of course, there's additional logic there that we really don't need. And we're losing out on a few key benefits, such as, first, is losing type safety, because all of those calls have to go from the UI thread into the platform thread, and then from the platform thread, it communicates with the host device. So we're losing type safety in this entire communication loop. And also, any synchronous native APIs that your host device runs has to be used as an asynchronous method, which is, of course, unnecessary. Now, as of Flutter 3.33, the UI thread has been merged into the platform thread. And this is currently stable and enabled by default in iOS and Android. It is beta in Windows and macOS, and in Linux, it is still a work in progress. Now, of course, this finally allows for type safety and synchronous calls to native APIs. Secondly, we have what's called build hooks, or native assets. Now, whenever you need to interact with a third-party library written in another language, for example, a machine learning library written in C or Rust, they need to be able during compile time and place somewhere where your Dart code knows where to look for them. Now, the build hooks feature allows you to download pre-prepared artifacts from any publicly available URL, or you could even compile it using your own source code and bake it directly into your Flutter application. Now, this change is currently in preview on the main channel. And finally, we have this thing called FFIGen and JNIGen. Now, essentially, whenever we need to call any native methods in whatever we need to use Dart's low-level FFI APIs. Now, this is where FFIGen and JNIGen, they essentially generate a translation layer for us to communicate between our applications and native methods we want to talk to. So you can use FFIGen to talk to your C or Objective-C or your Swift code, or you could use JNIGen for your Java or Kotlin. Now, going forward, let's talk about some of the platform support that was talked about at Google I/O this year. So, starting off with Android. Now, as of Flutter 3.29, Impeller is now the default renderer on Android. Right? So Impeller is a new rendering engine for Flutter that makes it much faster on more modern devices, providing better animations and performance enhancements. Next, as of Flutter 3.27, Android's edge-to-edge UI system is supported by default. Now, this allows Flutter to use the entire height of the display on devices that have no system bars at the top or bottom of the display. Now, this year's Flutter also added Android's scribe feature that allows you to convert handwritten text into actual text. You can actually check it out here. You can just write on the screen and then it converts it to actual words. And lastly, numerous additions have been added for material design, including new page transitions, sliders, new progress indicators, and more. Now, moving on to iOS, we have much stronger support for Apple's Cupertino design. So here's an example of some of the changes that are being made. There are new progress indicators, new widgets. Flutter, a large investment has been made to improve Flutter's fidelity and coverage for the Cupertino system, including new bottom sheets and navigation bars as well. Secondly, Flutter is currently in the process of migrating from CocoaPods to using the Swift package manager. And currently, over 150 plugins have been migrated over, including all of the Firebase packages. And finally, we have squircles, which essentially is this unique shape. And they are very unique to Cupertino design. And how you actually make squircles is a bit of a secret by Apple, but Flutter has done its best to essentially replicate this particular shape. And it's available as a widget called R Super Ellipse. Now moving on to web. So we have some exciting updates, starting off with stateful hot reload on web. So for the longest time, we've only had stateful hot reload for Android and iOS, but finally we have it for web. Essentially, with stateful hot reload, you can inject your code while the application is running. You don't have to restart it. And this feature is finally available on the stable channel. Next, we have WebAssembly support. So Dart is now able to compile itself to Awesome GC. With this, Flutter apps are able to start a lot faster as there is no JS to interpret in the middle. And frames can be rendered up to 2 times faster. And finally, we have significant accessibility improvements for web as well. A major refactor was done for performance enhancements and a completely new semantic roles system that converts the standard ARIA labels on web was also made as well. And those are the updates.
Thank you, Avinath. And now moving on to AI's real-world impact. My next question is to Keshan. So Keshan, with models like Gemma 3N, MedGemma, and SignGemma, Google is making AI more accessible across devices, healthcare, and even sign language. So how do you see these shaping real-world innovation and its impact?
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for coming here on a Sunday evening after lunch. So it feels a bit sleepy now, but anyway, thanks everyone for coming here. Now, what is Gemma 3N? We were talking about Gemini here. And Gemma is the open source cousin of Gemini models. And basically, we had these Gemma models for years. And throughout the years, we have seen that quality improvements in Gemma models. We had seen Gemma 1, Gemma 2, and now Gemma 3 in different variants, like 1B, 2B. That's like in simple terms, the size of these models. And what this Gemma 3N means is Gemma 3 Nano. Nano means this architecture is optimized for more of edge devices. So you can use these models on mobile devices and other edge devices. One of the real world examples or the use cases could be use these things in mobile devices and other edge devices which will give accessibility to many of the real world use cases. And going forward, we have seen, so this is the Gemma 3. So one thing is that it is multimodal, meaning it can understand images, videos, even voice or the speech. And it can only, right now at the moment, it can only generate text, but it can understand different other modalities. So, and you know, in today's world, we have lots of people in different communities who has some different abilities, like who have challenges in hearing. So I think over the years I have seen lots of students come to me and talk about developing sign language models as their final year projects. I think there are, even in this crowd, I think there are some people who have already done that. Now Google also tried that, and they came up with a very good sign model using the Gemma 3 architecture. And this actually performed really well on the benchmarks. And this is a new team that Google started back in 2020, if I'm not wrong, with the accessibility team. So they are trying to give this accessibility to different other people, like deaf people and other differently able people. And MedGemma is another interesting model that we have seen that Google have released, because medical, so one thing is that these models are also domain specific. And we have seen this trend coming into the scene, like smaller domain specific models. So what we can do is, like, these kind of medical models outperform even the bigger models, which are general models. Like, let's say, if you take Gemini model, which is a general purpose model. It's not specifically built for medical purposes. But this MedGemma model, which is a smaller model, like we have the 4 billion parameter model and also the 27 billion parameter model, which are significantly smaller compared to the Gemini-like bigger models or the commercial models. But when you compare the benchmarks, these MedGemma models in the medical scenarios perform way better than the way better or maybe incomparable with the Gemini models. What that says is that for specific domains, we can simply fine-tune or train specific smaller models, which can be run on a low resource environments as well. And going forward, we have seen something interesting. I'm not sure how many of you have seen the cartoon Dostara Honda Hita, like 90s kid may know it. I think it's Dr. Dolittle. That's some people who knows it, that Dr. Dolittle. So when I was a child, I have seen this cartoon and I wanted to talk to different animals. And now this year, I saw that Google is trying the same with dolphins. So they have, so this is not yet perfect. You can't talk to a dolphin and do all the things that you want. But they have come a long way trying to understand different species. I mean, the way they speak, not only human, because language is something that it's a tool for communication, right? So communication happens not only between humans, we can have communication between different animals as well. So if you have dogs, you definitely know that you can understand them in a way, and you can communicate them in some gestures, maybe some sounds. So that's something that Google has tried with Dolphin Gemma. I think the model is still not available, but the MedGemma and MedGemma and Gemma 3N is already available that you can use. It's open source, so feel free to go and try them. That's about it on the specific open source Gemma models.
Thank you, Keshan. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right back into Android. So, Banu, Android 16 is bringing in a fresh design with Material 3 expressive live notifications and other UX upgrades, while Google is pushing boundaries with Gemini-powered devices, smart glasses, and the upcoming Pixel 10. With the launch of Android XR, Samsung's Project Muhan headset, and Google's big leap into extended reality, how do you see these developments redefining mobile experiences and the future of human-computer interaction?
Yeah, so this time around with Android 16, the core focus is on the Material 3 Expressive. And it's not, I would say, a huge update that we are getting this time with Android 16. It's a minor update, but it's some good refinements that we are getting, especially with the performance. And the overall, the experience is much richer this time. How much attention to detail they are putting into things like even the notification panel. How, think about it, how many times a day do you check your notifications, right? So these little things add up. And even like the live notifications they are introducing that we had on iOS for a while back, right? Like things like if you order Uber, like, you order something on Uber Eats, like, how long it's going to take. Those things are going to be a part of the OS. So it's going to be a constant notification that will always be there. And the improvement to security this time around with Android 16 is also something that I want to highlight this time around. And if you are one of the few people who are using Android tablet, right? You will definitely love the new window management feature that they are introducing. So this time we are getting that on the iOS versions as well. So this time we are getting it on the Android versions as well. So it's going to be a experience very similar to what we had with DeX previously on Samsung devices. That's coming to the Android operating system. So you can move around and resize your windows and all of that with your devices. And also we get a good refinement to Wear OS this time around as well. So it's going to be much more refined and better fit for the different types of models that we have available in the market. And one of the other key things that Google announced is the introduction of Android XR. So after so many years, we are getting a big OS from Google, especially catered to the the wearable devices that we have. especially the mixed reality headsets and all of that. As someone who has extensively used the Apple Vision Pro and all of that, having this kind of OS on Android side will definitely fix the fragmentation issue that we have as of right now, because a lot of people are trying to make their own devices with different OSs, so we will have different problems alongside with that, with the app compatibility and so many things. So having this single OS to support that is definitely going to be huge for the industry. And also this is just going to be the start. So one of the concept devices that they're showcasing is Project Mohan from Samsung, that they showcased, that will probably launch at the end of this year, according to what they said. So when you look at it from outside, it looks very similar to a Vision Pro, but it has its own perks. Can't wait to try this one out in near future. Hopefully it will come to Sri Lanka, or we'll be able to get one down soon. So anyway, not only this, but talking about people who wear glasses and all of that, especially with the improvements that Google is doing with Android XR, with other wearable devices, like even these glasses, right? We can truly use it as an advantage in future, especially having Gemini and all of that loaded up onto our glasses. It'll definitely be a true assistant that we have, so we don't have to rely on our smartphones anymore. So it's going to be the perfect experience and the perfect excuse to finally wear glasses. That's that. And also for all of the people who are really interested in the next Pixel device, Google has announced a special event in New York on August 20th. So keep your date locked in to see the newest generation Pixel devices. So we'll be getting the whole lineup, including a new foldable Pixel Pro, Pixel 10 Pro, as well as the Pro XL. So I'm really excited for that, as well as the refinement to the the processor that we have this time around. It's going to be a really interesting thing to try out with all the new latest OS updates. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Banu. So let's head back into the cloud space. So Suresh, my final question to you is, so we've seen Google Cloud take major steps towards streamlining app development with tools like Firebase Studio and the Application Design Center and Cloud Hub. With AI-assisted coding, one-click deployments to Cloud Run, and GPU-powered scaling now becoming standard, how do you think these updates are changing the way developers build, test, and deploy applications, especially with AI deeply integrated into workflows?
Right. So first of all, I'll share some of the insights on AI-assisted coding. So right now we are living in the AI era, right? We are using applications such as Microsoft Copilot, and there are multiple agentic applications that we're using to develop applications. So Google has launched this product called Firebase Studio. It's a really great, it's a interesting tool that you all can generate applications with AI. So I think the people who are looking into AI-assisted coding, there are applications such as Laravel, and there are multiple other frameworks such as V8, V0, and there are multiple other frameworks, applications that you can generate, help to build applications. So Firebase Studio is one of the most interesting things. And within one click, you can deploy your application on top of services such as Google Cloud Run and GCP platform entirely. So one thing to mention is that Firebase Studio supports Flutter application development as well, and Angular, and popular frameworks such as Next.js as well. And even when it comes to Android native development, Firebase Studio is extending their support for native development as well. So moving into the cloud space, Google has launched this interesting product called Application Design Center. So it's more like a portal where you can design the entire infrastructure of your cloud application, right? Ranging from multiple services such as Cloud Run, databases, BigQuery, right? You name it, whatever the services that are there, you can design the entire application, and at the end of the process, you can generate the Terraform scripts that is required to deploy your application on top of GCP or GCP and whatever the frameworks, based on the frameworks that you are using actually. And within one click, with the integration, with the designer view that is there in the Application Design Center, you can set up the networking as well as the interactivity between multiple services. So all of these things are supported, as well as there are AI-based generative tools that you can give the prompts, and if you don't have the deep dive technical insights on the GCP platform, don't worry. You can just give the prompt and entirely does it for you actually, right? So third thing is that Google has launched an interesting platform called Cloud Hub, so which is more like a diagnosis application, diagnosis portal for cloud-based applications. For an example, let's say you have your entire infra deployed on cloud, GCP, right? So there can be incidents, there can be multiple other scenarios that are occurring with your applications. So if you want to deep dive into it in a single dashboard, you can easily see all the incidents and you can resolve whatever the issues that are there in cloud infrastructure. So what they're doing is basically they have taken the entire infra into a single dashboard, and within the single dashboard you can see, okay, the emergency issues, the deployment statuses, and every single thing in a single dashboard. So we all know that Cloud Run has been a managed service to deploy your applications very easily on the GCP platform as containerized applications. So, so we all know that along with the Google's AI Studio, they have given the capability of deploying your AI applications on Cloud Run as well. So you don't have to worry about generating the Docker files and generating whatever the deployment scripts to deploy your AI Studio-based application on top of Cloud Run, right? You just have to go to AI Studio, build your application, give the context, choose the models, and it does the job for you. So that's how Google is bringing the AI closer to people, even for low coders and mid-range coders as well. And then we have the one-click deployment of Gemma 3. So we all know that Gemma 3 is an open source large language model from Google. So if you want to deploy that on a cloud environment, within one single click, along with GPU support, along with the native GPU support, they're supporting the deployment on top of the GCP platform. So as you can see, within few steps, right? Just a matter of defining the container of Gemma 3, and you can attach GPUs as well. So GPUs have come up to the Cloud Run platform as well. So very easily you can deploy these sort of large language models on the GCP platform in a managed way. So most important thing, right? So we know that when you're building generative AI applications, it's really necessary to work with data, right? So there are multiple types of databases. So we are working with MySQL, Postgres, SQLite, and even Bigtable. So all of these data types are there, right? So Google has launched this interesting MCP, the Model Context Protocol, that you can interact with multiple data sources, right? So just a matter of deploying the MCP in your platform and linking the data source and the querying and the retrieval augmentation. So all these sort of operations are automated along with the MCP toolbox they have launched for databases. And then, most importantly, so we all know that, I know that most of you have worked with MongoDB. So Google has finally launched the support for MongoDB on Firestore. So previously, so we know that in the previous Google I/O, they launched the support to Postgres as well with the Data Connect. And right now, we have the support for MongoDB as well. So very easily, we can integrate with MongoDB databases. And finally, so we know that Cloud Run has support for GPUs now. So previously, it wasn't there. So we can work with multiple types of GPUs, such as NVIDIA Tesla and even H100, depending on the availability on the region. So now the GPUs have come to Cloud Run platform as well. So if you want to deploy an application that requires GPUs, within single click, that is there.
All right, thank you, Suresh. So, Avinath, you touched on some powerful updates already, but let's take a look at what's next. Flutter is clearly moving into the AI space, especially with the introduction of tools like Gemini and Firebase AI. Could you walk us through how developers can integrate these into their Flutter applications and what this shift means for the future of app development within Flutter ecosystem?
Yeah, so at this year's Google I/O, we saw quite a few updates in regards to Flutter and AI. So starting off, we'll take a look at the Dartpad and Gemini integration. So Dartpad is a console editor that allows you to build Flutter applications directly within your browser. Gemini is now baked directly into Dartpad, and you can directly prompt from it within. Next, Vertex AI is now officially known as Firebase AI Logic. And among many other things, Firebase AI Logic allows you to use the new Vertex AI Gemini API and the new Vertex Developer API. And you can interact with Firebase AI from your applications using this Firebase AI package, which is currently available on pub.dev. And finally, Android Studio now has added support for Gemini straight out of the box. As of the Meerkat feature drop, Gemini support for Flutter and Dart is now first class. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Avinath. So, to close our panel discussion on a powerful note, my final question, actually, this is an amalgamation of a few questions, Keshan. So, with tools like SynthID and Google's focus on data quality, how crucial are these in building responsible AI? And what do you think about Demis Hassabis's AGI prediction and his comments on simulation theory?
Yeah, well, tough questions. Anyway, Demis answers most of them, so I'm trying to quote from him. So SynthID, first let's talk about SynthID. So SynthID is a kind of a digital fingerprint that Google, it's anyway an open source project. So Google is embedding this digital fingerprint on all the AI generated contents, which means that they can easily find out whether a particular video or an image or even text is a AI generated one. So what it does is that like it will help to reduce the deepfakes and the misuse of AI generated contents in maybe news or other areas, and how this impact the model collapse. Now, model collapse is something that people have talking about. Like some people ask, like nowadays, like most of the content are being generated by LLMs, right? Am I correct? I hope so. Most of you are using LLMs to generate. Even you use LLMs to write emails, right? So most of the content that generates today, like if I say LLMs by LLMs is, I don't think it's a wrong statement. Which means that some can argue that if we use this data to generate the next generation of or the train the next generation of LLMs, the LLMs may not have a diverse set of data to train on, right? So the model, I mean, the existing models have been trained on human-generated content from the internet. And if we are generating the new content using AI, the same LLMs that's been generated so far, and if we use the same content to, or same data to train the next generation of models, it looks like that we don't get newer or diverse set of information or new, let's say, a different distribution of data into those models. So that's the argument of model collapse. So that's why people say that in the long run, the models may collapse or come into a singularity kind of thing, like in knowledge-wise, come into one particular point. So the Demis's answer was that inside Google or with DeepMind, they use this very high rigorous quality assessments on data. So even they can even remove the AI-generated content using the SynthID. If not, even they use very high quality barriers in training these models. So that's the answer that we got from him on the model collapse. So yeah, I think that's a way to come up with the problem of collapsing these models. And the next interesting question, which was forwarded to both Demis and Sergey Brin, which was that asked whether when we are supposed to get AGI. So AGI is the artificial general intelligence. Nowadays, the AI that we have kind of called like artificial narrow intelligence or weak intelligence. Different people have different words to that. But AGI is something different. Now, we don't have a clear definition of what AGI is. One thing, as even Demis said, that AGI could be that it's not a general human's ability, but the human brain as an architecture. What can a human brain as an architecture can achieve? So, if we can train a model or a LLM or a large language model or a neural network, whatever model, to do something that human brain as an architecture can do, that would be AGI. So it's not that Einstein level knowledge or the capabilities. It's not some of others capabilities, but a human brain as an architecture. What is it capable of? So exploring that is again the path to AGI. And this question, Demi said that we cannot expect AGI before 2030. He said after 2030, but Sergey said before 2030. So Sergey is Demis's boss, so definitely Demis has to do something, right, to keep his job. Anyway, so from that, they came to this argument, this very interesting simulation hypothesis. I'm pretty sure it's a topic that people talk during when they are drunk, probably. So it's about whether we are living in a simulation. And many people have many arguments, many opinions. Definitely, there's no definite answer. Everybody has different opinions. One thing that got forward by Nick Bostrom, that's an Oxford philosopher, and his argument is that we are in either in a simulation or not. I mean, definitely yes. Either of it is correct. And he said that humanism, that is like human civilization has come to a level that we can run simulations. So either we have not come to that level, we will not come to that level, or if we are in it, then we will not do that simulation part, something like that. So what Demis's answer was that, well, the universe itself, the physics that's underlying the universe may be computational, because if we are to train models, I mean, if a model can model some, I mean, if an algorithm can model something, which means the underlying should be computational, right? If it's computational, then we can model it. So how far we can go there, and whether we can simulate it, that's another different philosophical argument. In my point of view, yes, I agree that this underlying physics could be computational, but then are we in a simulation that controlled by some different civilization? That's, I think, really debatable. So it's again a debatable question, and it's an open question. Let's have a discussion maybe later with a drink. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keshan, and what an inspiring and impactful session it was. A massive thank you to all our panelists for unpacking all things AI, Android, machine learning, cloud, Flutter, and the future of tech from Google I/O 2025.